bringing on Aaron. If you guys aren't familiar with Aaron, he's a Well Squad member, been in the squad for a while now. He used to work at LA County Section 8. He's been around real estate for a while. He talked a little bit about this program on his page, on his personal page on social media. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of tag team this thing and kind of have an open discussion, give you guys the information, give you guys the facts, send some links to you guys, and then we'll kind of go from there. So let me see, Aaron, you in here yet?
Hey, what's up, man? Sorry, I was trying to get my audio right. I couldn't hear for a second.
Okay, what's going on, man?
How you doing?
Oh, everything is good. I can't even complain. What's up with you?
Same, man. It's all good stuff.
That's what's up. So, first of all, man, it's been a minute since we had you back on. Yeah, it's been a while since we had you. What'd you think of InvestFest? Before we dive into this, I kind of want to talk a little bit about that.
Man, I was talking to Ashley earlier this week, and I said, man, I totally missed you. I totally missed you guys over there. I don't know where I was when after Chris got done talking, but yeah, I totally missed the whole squad. I was bummed. I didn't know you guys were taking off the next morning either, because it was for Chris's birthday, right?
Yeah, it was for his birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The InvestFest was dope though.
Yeah, so what happened was after Chris came off stage, we kind of hung around back for a minute and then we were leaving. Then as we were leaving, people kind of were recognizing Chris. So they were coming up, people had some questions. And then when you exit out of that door right there, it was kind of everybody right there. And so we walked out and people just came up. And then so we just really just stayed and talked to every single person that wanted to come up and talk to us. We had a lot of members from the Well Squad there, a lot of people that have heard of the Well Squad, people that follow us on social media. So it was really cool. So we ended up staying for like 2 hours after Chris got off stage, out in the lobby, just talking with people, taking pictures, hearing people's stories, all that good stuff. So it was pretty
dude,
fun.
Wall Squad was there heavy, man. There was a ton of people that
Yeah, I heard when Chris
went
went
on
on
Wall
stage,
Squad.
yeah, I could hear everybody representing. So it's pretty dope. Looking
Yeah, there
forward
was a ton of
to
folks.
Yeah, looking forward to some different stuff like that. I thought the fest was pretty dope. I think they had the right idea. I just think they need to come with people that are going to bring more knowledge than anything else. I was looking to gain some new information, and I got a little bit, but I felt like it was more hoorah than anything. That was just my personal
yeah,
opinion.
I kind of told him the same thing. It was a lot of high level overview, so it's perfect. To me, it's the perfect introductory event to somebody who's just getting into any of it, like whatever you're getting into, stocks, real estate, is a great introductory event if you're not familiar with anything. But it was really high level, so I told him, I was like, man, next year they should have like maybe breakout sessions or some kind of something for people that are a little more advanced to where they can get into the nitty gritty of stuff and get some more complex info. So we'll see, but yeah, it was good. It was a lot of high level overview stuff. But hopefully next year they let a couple of the people really dig in.
Right. All right, cool, man. So let's dive into these programs, right? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Bank of America program that they got rolling out. I'll kind of go over some of the key parts. So for those of you guys listening out there, I hope you guys are taking notes. I'm going to drop a bunch of links in the chat. If there's anything that you guys have questions about that we talk about in this discussion, you guys can go ahead and put it in the chat and we'll either stop and answer it or we'll just kind of go through and then we'll make sure we get all your guys' questions answered in the end. So pretty much Bank of America is rolling out this new program that's targeting African-American and Hispanic neighborhoods, right? So the majority of the residents in these areas are either African-American or Hispanic or a combination of both, right? So some of the key takeaways, I've actually called and spoke with a couple Bank of America representatives. did some, just dive in, just simple Google stuff and things like that. So these are the key things I've taken away from this. And Aaron, you can go ahead and either piggyback or chime in once I get to a certain area. And then
Yeah, sure.
if there's anything I missed that you know of, please just go ahead and throw it in there. So the first thing for this program, you have to be in the right state and county to qualify for this specific program, right? So that's the key things I want you guys to write down. I'll let you guys know exactly what states those are. So it's going to be based on only a handful of states, a handful of counties. In Detroit, Michigan is currently only one county. So if you guys are in Charlotte, Dallas, Detroit, Los Angeles, or Miami, these are the only areas that this program is qualifying for at the moment. I don't know if they're gonna wait and see the type of numbers that they get from this program. Like I said, it is a pilot program. It is new, so they're slowly rolling it out to kind of to wrinkle out, I guess, what could possibly come from it, right?
Hey, so while you're giving the locations, you mind if I share my screen real quick? Because I
Yeah,
have a I
yeah.
have a little logo. That way they can screenshot as you go through it.
Okay, yeah, please do. Yep, go ahead. So Aaron's gonna share a screen so you guys screenshot that. And I'm gonna drop links for you guys. So right now, I just want to give you guys some information. So like I said, as we're giving the info and going along, screenshot, take notes and all that stuff. All right. So in order to qualify for this loan, you're gonna have to be in one of those cities that I just named off to you guys: Charlotte, Dallas, Detroit, Los Angeles, Miami. Currently only one county in Detroit, and right now that's Wayne County. Not too familiar with the area, so I'm not sure what part of Detroit that's in, but that's the only county as of now. The second thing is you have to get pre-qualified to make sure you qualify, and they're going to base that off of it's called a DTI, right? Your debt to income ratio. And right now it's at a 50%. So that means that the total amount of debt that you have on your credit report cannot exceed 50% of what your monthly income is, right? And that is to include your new house payment, right? If you go through this program, that's going to be including that. So keep that in mind. You have to qualify as a first-time home buyer. So I try to get information on this, and Aaron, maybe but they didn't specify whether if they're going off of you haven't owned a home in 3 years, or does this have to be you can never have owned any prior homes or anything? Do you know that for sure?
It's a 3-year thing.
It's a
Yeah,
3 year.
because I asked a few people the same question.
Okay.
Everybody said 3 years.
Okay. So boom. So off of you can't have owned a home within the last 3 years, right? So that's going to qualify you as a first-time home buyer. So you could have owned a home in the past, all that good stuff. So 3 years is the key for this program. A first-time home buyer class is required. I have the link for you guys. I will send it in the chat. It's a 5-part first-time homebuyer class. It's a little bit different than your other traditional first-time homebuyer class, but it's a 5-part. I guess it is kind of lengthy. It's maybe, I'd probably say set aside maybe a day to get it done, is what it's sounding like. And that's definitely one of the letters that you need to even get the ball rolling for this program. So you have to take that first-time homebuyer program first, because what they do is, for this type of loan, which isn't traditional, they do the pre-underwrite before they even give you an approval letter. So that means they need to get all your information, make sure that you can even qualify before they even give you an approval letter. And traditionally, a lot of lenders, once you give them some basic information, they can give you a pre-approval letter right away. So that's the little differences in this program. It's one loan, so you don't have to worry about multiple loans. The key parts to this is it's a 0% down payment and no closing fees, right? You can put a down payment down if you want, and that will just lower your mortgage over the life of the loan. So that's going to be an option up to you. Taxes, insurance, title fees, surveys, and appraisals, from what I've heard, are not covered. Have you heard any different on those, Aaron?
So the verbiage that everybody gave me that I spoke to said, and I'll just read it. It says Bank of America covers all non-recurring closing costs. Typically, this would be all closing costs except for taxes and insurance.
Okay, so title
So
fees, surveys, and appraisals will be rolled into the loan then, is what it sounds like.
yeah,
Okay, so that means you guys, if you were to use this loan, right, you can get into it putting a 0% down payment and no closing fees. So typically, let's say you guys are looking at about a $300,000 home, you would be, if you were to go like a FHA route, let's say you were to put 3.5% down for your down payment, your closing costs and all that will come out to about another 4%. So we'll just say you'd be all in for about 7%. That means you would have to come out of pocket about $21,000, just to kind of give you guys perspective, right? So if you were to use this loan, find a home that's about 300,000. By using this, you're saving yourself about $21,000, give or take, right? That's just if you were to use the FHA, how you were to go. Like I said, that's just scenario based. There are income caps, right? So the person I spoke with is in Dallas County. The income cap for Dallas County is going to be 130,000 is going to be the max income that you can make to be able to qualify for this program. It will be different if you're married. If you're single, that's what it is for that area. I don't have the numbers for those other counties, but I would assume it's going to be about the same. Out of this list, the only places that might go up a little more is maybe LA and Miami, but Dallas is kind of, a little bit more expensive than Charlotte, a little more expensive than Detroit, but kind of up there with LA and Miami. So you're going to be looking, I would probably say 150,000. Don't quote me on that. Like I said, it's going to be based on county, but there is going to be an income cap, just so you guys are aware of that. A lot of questions that people were asking, a lot of people have student debt. And so they were asking how they look at student debt when doing this loan. So the way how they look at it is traditional, like most lenders do. They go off of the 1% rule. So let's say you owe 100,000 in debt. They would use it as you would have to make $1,000 monthly payment, and that's going to affect your DTI, your debt to income ratio, for those of you guys that don't know. And if any of you guys don't understand any of this stuff I'm saying, just say, hey, Ace, can you please repeat that part, or can you go deeper into that part? Because I want you guys to fully understand this before me and Aaron kind of talk about all the pros, the cons, and all that stuff. So if you guys are confused at any point on anything that I'm saying, please let me know. And I want to make sure you guys fully understand everything that we're talking about. As far as your credit score goes, if you have a 650 or better, they're not going to dig deep into having like proof of paying bills, proof that you can make payments on time. If your credit score is 650 or below, according to the person that I was speaking with, they look a little deeper into your finances. They want you to show, you paying bills on time and all that stuff. So that's a little bit more than a traditional lender would want or need. So that's also something for you guys to keep in mind. If your credit score is 650 or below, you'll probably need to provide some type of proof of whatever current bills you have to make sure you're current, how long you've been current, all those things. If your credit score is 650 or above, better, then that's something that you typically won't have to worry about. There is no mortgage insurance on this loan, right? So if you typically get one of these first-time homebuyer programs, like a loan, if you use the FHA loan, if you do a conventional loan, you put less than 20% down, you have to pay what's called a PMI, a private mortgage insurance. And that's simply something that you have to pay to whoever you're getting the loan from, because you're not putting 20% down. So you have to look at it like this. Back to that $300,000 example. If somebody's going to give you a $300,000 loan, they have to get something in return. Like, yes, they're going to make money on your interest, but they also need to get something for giving you this, kind of like insurance that you're going to stay on top of it. So this PMI, this private mortgage insurance that you typically would have to pay for these other type of loans, which it varies in price. It could be anywhere on the low end to maybe, $75 to $100 a month, and it could go up higher, obviously, if you're, in the $1 million homes. But typically, if you're in between the 250,000 to 750,000 price range for your home, you'll be looking at a monthly PMI of around 100 to maybe $200-300 at most. I don't think it's getting that much higher. Just to put that into perspective, that's something that you will not have by utilizing this type of loan. They need about 35 days to close. That's something that's very important, especially if the market is hot and things are going off quick. That's something that you would want to know how long it's going to take. So that way you can get all your affairs in order. And that way you'll have a good estimate of how long the process will take. I really didn't get a clear statement if that 35 days takes into consideration the pre-writing. I don't know if that's before the pre-writing or after it's all done. But typically you'll be looking at about 35 days. Aaron, did you know, is it going to be for single family only? That's something I didn't get a chance to ask.
No, so it's single family or multifamilies between 2 to 4 unit.
Okay.
Um, so with the single families, though, they can cover up to 106% of the loan amount because that's going to include the closing costs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but any multifamily loans require at least 5% down. So
Okay.
if you want to put more, you can, but multifamilies, they require 5%.
Okay. All right, you guys. So that's pretty much the gist of everything that I got. I'm gonna send to you guys in the chat. Aaron, off of anything that I just said right now, is there anything you want to add? Anything that I missed or important information that you think is good to know before we kind of go further into it?
Um, no. Oh, somebody asked it in the chat. They said, do we still need to watch if we're not in the city? So I put
Yeah.
in there, you don't have to live in those cities, but those are the cities you can buy in. So
Right.
um, I hope you guys were able to see. I think I put up the right screen when I put up the screenshot that had all the cities and counties in there.
Yeah. Can you put it back up for us real quick
Yeah, yeah.
again?
Hold on, let me.
All right. So yeah. So the question was, do we still need to watch if we're not in those cities? Absolutely, because I told you guys this is just rolling out right now. We're at the beginning of we're Bank of America is at the beginning of this. It's kind of a pilot program. So it's always good to get the information. So that way, when they do start rolling it out to more cities across the nation, you will already be prepared. Or this might be something that draws your interest enough to maybe even want to move to these cities. So it's always good to just hang back and get the information, even if you're not currently living in the city.
Are you
I
able to see it?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yep.
Charlotte, North Carolina, and then South Carolina. But then these are all the cities in those two states that you can purchase in. That's Dallas, Texas. So the headers are the cities that they showed on their website, and then everything underneath are the other areas that included. So LA is LA City and LA County. So LA County is massive. There's a gazillion cities in there. Same with Miami-Dade.
Mm-hmm.
It's a massive county. Um, and then I put this in the chat too. So the smaller, well, I shouldn't say smaller, but these three cities for the down payment assistance, you can get up to 10K, and then LA and Miami is up to 15K, just to taking into account the cost of the homes.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, this screenshot came straight from one of their B of A reps. They have a map, and she just sent me this directly, so got that from them. And then the only other thing that I was gonna say is, so I put this in the chat too. These numbers are not exact. These are just to give you, like Ace said, they're just to give you an idea of what it would look like. All you have to do is, like I said here, look them up yourself. These figures differ by the region, and all you have to do is Google the area and then type in median income. So LA County median income, and it'll tell you what that is. And that's the figure that they go off of. Um, and then the last thing, so for the multifamily units, you have to take a separate home buying class.
Mm.
I didn't get the links. I didn't even think to ask for that. So I don't have that info as far as what they approve and don't. Um, but if you're getting a multifamily, you'll have to take a separate class, a separate homebuyer education class.
Good info. Good
So
info. All
I'll
right.
just leave that up in case so people can take screenshots if they need to.
Okay. All right. So out of all that stuff, do you guys have any questions? Is this also the link for the first time homebuyers course as well? So that's that link that I sent in the group is the 5-part. That's for Bank of America specific. So that's not blanketed for other programs. Like for instance, if you decide to use a different program other than the Bank of America's loan program, they're going to require a different home buyers course. So that one that I sent in the link is specific for Bank of America and this loan that we're talking about right now. And hold on, let me see. I got some links for you guys. Here's more of the link. I'm also going to put a phone number in here for you guys. So here's the link. I just sent it in the chat. If you guys want to go through, kind of take a look. It doesn't go as in depth that me and Aaron just did, or that we're about to go, but it does have some of the basic information. If you guys want to call and speak with a representative at Bank of America, I just sent that phone number in the chat for you guys. If you want to call and just, you know, maybe ask some of your own questions, or call and speak with someone that's in your area, because it is going to look different based on the county, based on the city that you're in. So all that stuff is going to look different. So boom, boom, boom. All right. Was there anything else that you wanted to go over that's in your notes that you have here, Aaron?
No, not for this one. Did you want to touch on that the legacy one?
Yeah. So let's kind of go. So before we do the legacy one, let's kind of talk about this. So pros, cons, what are you seeing with this? You know, what do you think about this program? What are you leaning towards? How are you feeling about this program, first of all?
So my opinion for this is going to be the same for the legacy program. They're both really good programs if you do it correctly. So I was talking to Aconundrum earlier today, and she was, every time we talk, she's like, Aaron, I hate this B of A program. And I'm like, I get it. Because she was a part of, and she said it on, I think she was on EYL a month or so ago. She said she got caught in the '08 crisis. So she lost her home in that whole mess. So she's like, I've been on the front lines. I know how the stuff works. She said, I got a loan too early and I should not have. I wasn't prepared. I thought I was. And unfortunately, as much as they try to put like a good facade on the program and say, oh, it's for Black and brown people and it's to, you know, it's to make our country better and blah, blah, blah. It can be if you use it correctly. But unfortunately, there's a gazillion people that are going to jump into this program head first, no research, buying homes that are at the top of the market. They're 800K now, and 2 years ago, they were 300K. And where this is really going to bite people is if they do the full, like if they get a single family home and they get a loan that's 106% of the value, or it's 100, and they get a loan that covers 106%. So 100% of the loan, or 100% of the purchase price, and then 6% for the closing costs. They're immediately upside down. And then real estate is not going to stop its slide anytime soon as far as the pricing goes for the next year and a half, 2 years maybe. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to drop as sharply as it did in '08, but it's way too high to keep this momentum. There's just there's no way. And everything you're seeing, so all the data from like Redfin, Zillow, Realtor Association, everything is showing inventory for new homes and current homes on the market they're getting higher every month. So people are going to get bit because the prices are going to slide down. So if you get in and you already got 106% loan, and then next year the price drops 40K from where you bought it, you're already 50, 60K in the hole, which again it's a paper loss, because if you don't sell it, there's no loss technically. I understand that part. But a lot of the people, I'm afraid that a lot of the people that are getting this loan and the loan with legacy, even though they do provide some education, they're not really ready to be homeowners. Yes, homeownership is fantastic. It should, in my opinion, should be a goal for pretty much everybody, but it does require education. It does require preparation. It does require planning. And a lot of people, I think, will see this just as an opportunity for free money because of how it was marketed. And I don't know who that is, but it says how to make it work. I'll get there in a second. I'm laying the ground.
Don't worry, you guys. That's we're gonna get you guys right.
We'll get there. I promise.
Yep,
so when I was back to the phone call I was on with Aconundrum today, she said what her biggest fear is, there's so many people that are going to get in and be unprepared like she was back in 08.
Mm-hmm.
And then with a lot of the programs that are out, a person may be able to stay in the house for 1, 2, 3 years, maybe 4 years. And what's happening during those 2 to 4 years? The prices are dropping.
Mm-hmm.
So she said her concern is that during that time, whoever is using this program is the one eating the loss from the market. And then eventually they'll lose the home because they can't sell it. They'll have to short sell it or just give it back to the bank. And then the bank pretty much let you rent their property for 2 to 4 years, and then they take it back at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it is not a conspiracy to say the bank wants everybody to lose their house. No, because it is expensive for the bank. It's a pain for the bank. It costs a ton of money for foreclosures and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So it's not like they're just betting on everybody they're getting a house to this month to lose it next month. That's not what they want. But that's not to say that it is not a plan B or C. So that's also and I totally agree with her. That's my concern as well, that people jump in because how this program is marketed. They're like, oh, it's for black and brown people to close the gap and X, Y, and Z. And obviously I'm not black or brown, but if I was, I'd be like, oh man, that's great. Let me get in on this. And then they're too trusting, I would say, of I worked for B of A and I don't like B of A. I work for Wells Fargo. I don't like Wells Fargo. So everything that they do, I take it with a grain of salt and I rip through it because I want to see what's wrong with it because I don't trust them either.
Mm-hmm.
Now, having said all those negatives, I do believe you can get good value from this program or the other one that we'll talk about in a second if you can find properties that are currently undervalued. So you just found the one we're on a call a couple months ago and we were going through the website and you're like, oh, I like this one. I think I'm gonna put a bid on it. I forgot to follow up to you if you did or not, but
I did. I got outbid on it.
oh, okay. So if you can find if you want to use this program, if you can find a property, which in real estate they're called motivated sellers.
Uh-huh.
So it's usually people that either just for whatever reason just don't want the property anymore, or maybe it was a family members and the person that has it now, they can't take care of it. They don't have the resources, they don't have the time, whatever it is. And instead of them selling it for 100K, they'll give it to you for 70, something like that. Obviously that's a hypothetical, but if you can find a motivated seller that allows you to get into a home that is already discounted, where when you walk into the house, you already have equity, this can be a good program. Now, on the flip side, though, you still want to make sure that you can afford it because a big target for this program, I mean, let's face it, if you're going for a program that has 0 down, you're getting down payment assistance, it's covering closing costs. A lot of people that go for this program probably should not be in a house, to be honest with you, because if you need all of that assistance, there's a chance that you probably can't afford the monthly payment or the upkeep. Like let's say the air conditioning unit goes bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's a chunk of change.
I have a friend going through that right now. He's they're
expensive.
Yeah, they are. They're not cheap.
No. And so I would implore, like with my entire heart, that if you're going to go through with this program, don't jump in head first. Please do your research. Please, 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 please. So if you can find a motivated seller, or my second strategy, the only other one I can think of to advise anybody to do would be to house hack. So if you can get a multifamily unit, we were talking about earlier, somewhere between 2 and 4 units. So duplex, triplex, or fourplex. If you can do that and still find one that is relatively undervalued, those are going to be a little bit more difficult to find. But if you can find one that is not priced at the top of the market, you'll still be able to make money because you'll have 1 to 3 other renters while you live in one of the units. And that'll go a long ways, and not only for helping the affordability at the beginning because they still cover most of the costs for you, but it'll help you as you go because you can take the cash flow that you're getting from that property, put part of it away in case unexpected expenses come up. You can use it to pay down the mortgage. more quickly, however you want to do it, save it, invest it, whatever your plan is. But those would be my two: either find a really motivated seller for a single family home, uh, where you can walk in with equity and you're not walking into a house that's already priced at the top of the market. So in 2 months, you're already, you're already negative. Or two, do something similar and house hack. What do you think about that?
Man, oh man. See, this is why I had you on here. I really hope, man, I really hope you guys are paying attention and really listening to what he's saying. You really hit the nail on the head with this one. Man, uh, so a lot of what I'm gonna say is a lot of what you already said and what you covered. So I'm just gonna kind of
Let's do it
piggyback.
then.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of a lot of what you said, and I'm gonna take it back to the very beginning about what was her name? Your friend from back in '08. What was
Oh, a conundrum.
a conundrum, right? So did you guys hear what she told Aaron to where she went wrong is that she wasn't prepared. She wasn't prepared, right? And this is the thing that I've been hitting over the head and I've been trying to tell you guys in these classes. Real estate is a path to generational wealth. Real estate is simple, but it's not easy, right? And I don't want you guys to confuse the two. It's simple, but it's not easy. There's so many costs that come up within real estate. There's so many areas that you have to be good at setting a budget. You have to be good with your finances. You have to separate your real estate money from your personal money so you don't get caught with your pants down when things do come up. Things will come up, right? We preach real estate and ownership in real estate because it is the path to that, but it's not the path for everyone, right? If you're already struggling with your finances, if you're currently renting, which is perfectly okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're currently renting and you're always struggling with your finances month after month after month after month, real estate shouldn't be your focus right now, right? We're not saying that this can't be your focus, but it just doesn't need to be your focus right now because with real estate comes a lot of responsibility, right? You're going to have your principal and interest if you're getting a loan, right? So you're going to have your monthly payment every month. You're going to have taxes every month. You're going to have insurance every month. You're going to have maintenance issues that come up every month. You're going to have little things that come up like replacing your roof, replacing your water heater. Some electrical damage might happen. You might have to do some electrical work. Some of your stuff might be out of date. You might want to upgrade your floors, your bathrooms, plumbing issues might come up, right? All these different things do come up and will come up in real estate. And this is the main area where a lot of people go wrong is they think because they can afford the payment that the bank gives them, they think that they can afford the house. And that's not the case. The bank is going to give you a $300,000 loan based on what you have coming in. For the most part, they're not really caring how good you are with your finances. They don't care what your future is looking like at that job. They're not caring about none of that stuff. They want to get you that loan so you can start making that payment and start feeding into their machine that they already have going, right? So that's the very first thing that I want you guys to know and take into consideration, not only with this program, right? What I just told you guys is for, real estate in general, whether if it's for your personal, whether if you're an investor, whether if you're looking to partner with somebody, whatever it may be, you got to be prepared and you really have to know your numbers, right? Everyone's always talking about know your numbers, know your numbers. When it comes to real estate, you really need to know your numbers, right? It's not anything that you can play with. It's not anything that you can guesstimate with because you can end up drowning very quick, right? And we don't want that for anyone. We don't want you guys to get yourselves in any of those type of positions, right? So boom, that's the first thing. Get prepared. And there's so many things that you guys can start doing. Go back and watch all the classes that we've had. A lot of them will prepare you guys for home ownership versus just diving into it, right? So prepare yourself by getting knowledge, start working on your finances, reach out to free resources, ask people, go to YouTube, go to Google, go to your library, right? There's so many other resources that you can use to get yourself
Use the
prepared.
real estate channel in the Wealth Squad.
The real estate channel on the Wealth Squad, right? You guys are paying a monthly membership for a reason. Get every single penny worth of your membership through the Wealth Squad, right? To prepare yourself for generational wealth, financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom, all that good stuff that we're all working for, right? So that's the main part. The second part for this program, people want to say, how can you take advantage? Exactly what Aaron just said. You want to get into properties if you're gonna completely go in with zero money down, you know, not put anything, if that's the route that you absolutely have to go. Now, if you can go that route and you don't need to go that route, that's going to be great for you, right? But a lot of people that are going this route need all of that 0%. They need every single dollar, you know, that they can save, just because they're just strapped on funds, and they might only have enough saved up to make those next 2 payments that are getting ready to come up. So a lot of times people will stress themselves way more than they need to. So don't be fooled by these programs that have zero down. There's always going to be a catch to it, and you need to figure out, what is that catch? Why are they just willing to give this money, right? There's always going to be pros and cons to everything. Your first goal should be figuring out, what is the con to this first, right? Where can this go wrong? How can this really set me back? Because everything that we just said in the program, it's a legit program. It's not far off from what NACA is offering. It's not far off from what a lot of other first-time homebuyer programs offer, right? The only thing that's different is they put on their headlines to draw a lot of traffic to it, that is for, you know, African Americans and Hispanics. So they're already trying to draw people in, and they're already targeting people who statistically are on the bottom scale of the financial system, right? This is not me putting a bias. I'm African American, so I'm not putting a bias towards anything. We're just going off of facts, right? When you guys come to these classes and we do this, it's a facts only. It's not a bias or anything like that. We're literally just going off of straight facts. So they're already targeting the people who are on the bottom of the income scale, right? So when you're doing that, and when you're trying to get people into these type of programs, yes, it sounds good to get a house. Yes, it sounds great to get into a house with no money down, no closing costs. But what is going to be the cost in that in the long run? Is going to be people not being able to afford their monthly payments. It's going to be maybe taxes. A lot of these areas that they are talking about, taxes are really high in that area. So that's another thing that people aren't taking into consideration. You have to take every scope of this into consideration before you dive into it, and before you really consider it. And it's not even just this program. And it really rubs me the wrong way, because it's Bank of America. I despise that bank. I would never, you know what I mean? I would never.
I hate them, man.
Right? I would never recommend anyone to bank with him or do anything with him. But I do have a but on that. If you can use these agencies to benefit yourself, absolutely. Absolutely. But the thing is, it goes back to step one. You have to be prepared. You have to start getting yourself prepared for everything that comes with home ownership. So other than that, other than everything that we just covered, this program is not far different than other programs that are out there. They just put that for African American. And just so you guys know, this loan is not just for African Americans and Hispanics. So this loan is not. So that's a flag for me already. How is this loan for these neighborhoods in these areas, but then it's not specific to just these type of people? You get what I'm saying? So that should already raise flags to people and let people know, okay, you know, people who are not African American or Hispanic can qualify for these programs to be in these areas. So it's like, what do you think they're trying to do with these areas as well? So you guys need to kind of step away from the, you know, the headlines, the things that sound great, zero money down, all this stuff, and just kind of write everything out. And that's what I did. I'm gonna send you guys my notes that I did. I do like a pros and a cons type thing, right? I write down what are all the benefits to if I were to use this program, and then what can be cons, right? If you can never come up with a con for something, you're already wrong. Don't sugarcoat stuff. Don't just try to see it to your favor. There's always pros and cons to everything, and you need to be true with that pro and con list, and see if it's really going to benefit you or not.
So I'm glad you brought out the NACA thing. So a lot of people when this first came out, people were like, "Oh my God, B of A is just trying to scam the whole country, and you know this is obviously fraudulent. Why B of A has never done anything for anybody?" So B of A has been NACA's biggest contributor for 25 years. So NACA is it's a nonprofit organization that helps people get loans. I see your comment, Moto. I can't see your name, but we're getting there, man. I promise, whoever that is.
Moto is ready. Hi.
Yeah. So it's not something that B of A is unfamiliar with. They've been doing it for decades. for a really long time. And this program that they're offering is almost exactly the same as NACA.
Yep.
So that's why I said I'm not I'm not taking a dump on this program because I hate B of A. I genuinely do not like B of A at all. But like Ace said, if you can use this to your advantage, like let's say you get a four unit property and 4 bedroom, or not 4 bedroom, 4 units. And then in a year you refi into I don't know, whatever, you have a local credit union that you want to refi with. You can do that. That's still an option for you. But if you're using this program because you don't have any money and you just want to get a house,
Stay away.
I would not recommend it. And that's with anything. So I don't know, you want to use that segue for the other program real quick?
Yep. So just to kind of touch on that. So if I were from the outside looking in and I were to take advantage of this program, I wouldn't take advantage of this program by buying a single family house. That's what I personally wouldn't do. I personally wouldn't get nothing less than a threeplex or a fourplex, just because I know what it can do. That's how I started my real estate journey, was with the fourplex. I lived in one unit, rented out the other three, right? People are always going to need somewhere to live. You're always going to need somewhere to live. So if I were to take advantage of this program, I would look for a fourplex. I would also look for a fourplex that uh I can get some I have value in it, right? I can be on the upside, because if you fully take advantage of this, like Aaron was saying, you're already going to be in the hole, just because you're having everything rolled into your loan. You're going to be in the hole about 7%, right? Because they're paying 100%.
Right off the top.
Yep. So just so you guys can follow me, they're going to pay 100% of the property, right? So let's say you find a $300,000 property, they're going to pay the down payment, they're going to cover everything for you, right? All your typical costs, and then you still going to have your closing, all that. So that's going to come out to about 6 or 7%. So things that you would typically pay are now all going to be rolled into your loan. So now you're already in the hole about 7%. But if you can find a property with about 10, 15, 20% equity. So meaning that, let's say you find $100,000 property and let's say you can get it for 80,000, right? That's you already having some equity in it. Now, if you're utilizing this Bank of America loan, you get into it, you're getting into it for cheaper then. And then I will also go a step further and say, put some money down, right? Put some money down, even if it's 3 to 5%. Just put some money down. It's going to have your monthly payments are going to be cheaper. You're going to have some money into it. You're still going to be walking away on top, in my eyes. If you can find a property undervalued, and like Aaron was says, that you can do that all day long. If you're currently, let's say it's going to take you 6 months to a year to get your funds right, to have your money to where you're going to have a good chunk of savings, right? A good amount that will cover 6 months to a year of expenses. What you should be doing in that time frame is you should be going door to door, driving. It's called driving for dollars, driving around your area, looking for homes that are kind of run down, or looking for duplexes, triplexes, or fourplexes that look like they might need a little bit of work, and start going talking to the owners of those properties and trying to make something happen. That's going to be your best way to try to find a good equity deal. And then on the back end, I would also probably put some money down. I would probably put 3 to 5%, just so you can still take a good advantage of this program. But I would definitely put money down. I would definitely not get a property that I don't have any equity in off bat. And I also wouldn't get in anything less than a triplex, maybe a duplex if the numbers looked really good. I like triplexes and fourplexes because you live in one unit, you rent out the other three. You live in one unit, you rent out the other two. Like Aaron said, maybe a year or two down the road, we don't know where real estate will turn. If it turns back to the upside a couple of years from now, hey, you got this equity, you can refinance. Maybe rates go down lower, you can refinance into a better rate. You got equity in your building, your property, you can pull out, and now you can start doing things to work to your advantage, right? That's all hypothetical. Things could go the complete opposite way, but that's how you take advantage of this program to make it work in your favor. Have all your finances in order, find a property that you can have equity in right away, possibly put a little bit of money down, 3 to 5%. You probably won't need to put much more than that. If you do all those things, I kind of, see that would be my fail proof way of kind of making this work to your advantage. Would you add anything onto that?
No, not to, I mean, you said it all. I think just to highlight though, how the market is right now, you are gonna have to work to get a good deal.
Yep.
You cannot,
Absolutely.
you can't be lazy about it. You're
Nope.
not, I mean, you can be, but you're gonna get a bad deal. So I would not be looking for a house that is 100% turnkey.
Mm-mm.
Turnkey means you walk in and put your furniture in and you're ready to go.
Yep.
Because those are already priced all the way at the top. So you're going to have to dig. It's going to take you a little bit to find a property. It's going to take you a little bit to maybe massage the owner into giving you a better price. When you get in there, it's going to take you a little bit to make some of the fixes that you need to make that were the reason you got it for $30,000-$40,000 cheaper than it maybe should have gone for.
Yep.
So just to highlight in how in today's market with everything being as radically priced as it is and mortgage rates being what they are, you're going to have to work to get a good deal. This is not something that you're going to start today and then Monday be moved in and be ready to go. It's just, yeah, I want to highlight that just to set your expectations because it will be work, but if you do the work, you're going to be putting yourself in a really, really good position though. So I don't want it to sound like it's just all work and no play. You're gonna get benefit. Like
Right.
Ace highlighted, you're gonna have equity. You can refi down the line, whatever the case is, but you get there by doing the work. Um, and the people that don't do the work are the ones that are going to be screwed in 2-3 years filing for foreclosure or having a short sale of property because they can't afford it and they bought at the top of the market. So I don't want that to be anybody in the wealth squad.
All right. So cool. All right. So let me just answer these questions before we move on
Yeah.
to the legacy. So Moto, however you go by. So did you let the other tenants know you were a landlord? No, I never do because I have a property manager off RIP. So no one ever knows that I own any of my buildings. I don't trust BoA, neither do I. What about the black owner we're about to get into? All right. So do you guys have any other questions about this program before we roll into the next one? Did that answer any questions you guys may or may not have had about this specific program with Bank of America? If you guys scroll up, I sent the links to the program to look a little bit deeper. I sent you guys the phone number, and then I also sent you guys the course that you guys need to take if you're going that BoA route. So did all your questions get answered? Do you guys have any other questions or concerns or anything about this program? What about if you have land that you want to build on? Is this program or people, I don't think this is able to build. I think it has to be
No,
dwellings.
it's for actual homes. So they're
Actual
not
homes.
doing like land loans. It's all
Right.
it has to be built already.
Yep. So I hope that answers your question, Troy. Any other questions you guys have on this before we roll into the legacy program?
Cool, man. You want me to jump in?
All right, yeah, go ahead. So about the legacy program, if you guys don't know about that, it's a program that's going to be launched by the largest black-leg mortgage banking. They're actually out of Vegas. I don't know if that's where their headquarters is at, but I think their headquarters is out of Vegas. It's a pretty cool program that they came out. It's going to be for black borrowers only. This program is supposed to, so if you guys aren't black in this class, my bad. Sorry, I didn't make
If
this.
you're not, stick around though, because
Yeah,
there's one more thing at the end. There's
yep.
one more thing.
Yeah, there's more to it. But so like I said, it's gonna be this is a pilot program as well, kind of like that Bank of America program. And this is gonna be limited to it's gonna be piloted in Atlanta, Baltimore, Chicago, Detroit, Memphis, and Philly. The main thing for this closing the gap program, what they call it, It's like I said, it's a 1% down payment with a free appraisal, free home warranty, free home buying counseling, and also financial assistance with closing costs. I'm trying to think of something else key. Your credit, you do have to have a minimum credit score of 620. And that's pretty much some of the key things I want to let you guys know before we dive a little more into it. So you can go ahead, Aaron, and drop whatever
Yeah, that
you.
was all the big stuff. So the main difference is you do have to have a minimum credit score, and it's a 1% down payment, which is nothing. That's as close to zero as you're gonna get. So 1% is extremely low. So the biggest difference between the two programs, though, for B of A, that list that I gave you, that's all the places that you can move or you can buy the home in. Now with this program, let me just hold on. I'm just gonna paste this into the chat so you can see it as I talk about it. So it's piloted, as Ace mentioned, in these 6 metropolitan cities: Atlanta, Baltimore, Chicago, Detroit, Memphis, and Philly. So the difference between the two is with the B of A program, you have to be moving to one of those areas or buying in one of those areas. With this program from Legacy, you have to be currently living in a census tract that is at least 51% Black.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben Slayton is the CEO and president, and if you don't know who Ben Slayton is, dude is a living legend.
He really
I mean,
is.
his resume is insane. He was the first Black realtor. That was one of his many achievements. But I'd recommend that you look him up. So what he wanted to do was not limit where you can move. So you can purchase anywhere, which is what he wanted to be able to, the freedom he wanted to be able to give their customers. So you can purchase anywhere, but you have to currently be living somewhere that's 51% or more. It's has a Black population of 51% or more. And the reason he gave behind that is because he said, he was like, when I grew up, the doctor and the plumber lived in the same neighborhood. He was like, so I don't want a neighborhood full of plumbers and then 12 neighborhoods over be a neighborhood full of doctors. He was like, I want everybody to be in the same neighborhood. You know, I want to make it so Black people can live wherever they want, and not be restricted to certain zip codes. So that's why he did it that way. And that's why they developed the program in such a way. So they're doing their absolute best to target majority Black areas where people currently are, and then giving them the freedom to move wherever. So that's the main difference between the two programs. But other than that, they're pretty identical. They're pretty similar.
Yep. And then I sent you guys the link to their bank, to their main page. They don't have any of the information yet. It's supposed to be dropped. I forget the exact date. Just let me see if I can find it really quick. Hold on, let me see. October 17th. So is when the program becomes available for the public to be able to inquire, get all the rest of the information on it. So I guess the Beverly Hills area is out. Yeah, definitely.
If you live there now, yes, Cedric, it is.
Yep.
But if you want to move there, it's not.
Right. So a lot of the same, literally all the same pros and all the same cons that we said from Bank of America, right? Don't be fooled just because it's a Black-owned bank, just because, you know what I'm saying, it's predominantly for Black people. That doesn't necessarily mean that you trust it with a grain of salt. Everything that I said, everything that Aaron said, that we said about Bank of America, we're going to tell you guys the same exact thing about this loan here, right? And they're pretty identical. Like I said, this one is just the 1%, the credit score, and then the living situation. So take all that with a grain of salt, you guys. Literally, you know, real estate can be a great thing. It can be a great path towards financial freedom, towards generational wealth, right? It can be a great path towards all that things. And then it can also be a path towards bankruptcy. It could be a path towards losing your home, foreclosure. It could be a path towards debt, stress. It could be, you know, it could literally go the complete opposite way. So the main thing that will take you towards one road or the other is one, be honest with yourself. Know your finances, know what you can afford, know what you can't afford. Don't bite off more than you can chew. A lot of people will get approved for 500,000 and go find a $500,000 home, right? Anytime you get a loan for something, if they say, hey, yeah, we ran through your credit and everything, and based off your income and your debts, you qualify for 500,000. So people want to go get their dream home at 500,000 and end up biting off more than they can chew. Be real with yourself, be realistic with your expectations, and fully understand the finances of this real estate game. That's what makes or breaks anybody in the real estate game, right? You need to understand what you can afford, what comes with home ownership, all those things I told you guys, your principal and your interest, your insurance, your taxes, your utilities, your maintenance, your emergency issues that come up. And if you have more than one unit, now we're talking vacancies. Now we're talking tenant issues. Now we're talking more responsibility. Roofs need to get replaced. Water heaters need to get replaced. If you have a yard, it has to be cut. You might have HOA fees. That's something else I forgot to mention when we were talking about the Bank of America thing, based on what area you're in. So you have all these costs that can add up quickly, but in the long run, it's going to work toward your favor if you stay responsible, if you stay within your means. If you're, like I said, putting money to the side, a lot of things need to happen before you can jump into real estate and be successful with it. And
Yep.
like I said, just always have a game plan. What do you got? You got anything else to add to that, Aaron?
Just the last thing. So if you really want a house and now you're kind of second guessing it after hearing me and Ace, because you may not have everything exactly where it needs to be, it's fine. There are so many programs out. Like, even if it takes you a year to be ready to get a house, there are so many programs that will do your entire down payment. There's programs that will do your closing costs. Just because it's not one of these that are out now doesn't mean that in a year you're not going to have any opportunities. I just don't want you guys to feel rushed because these two programs are getting so much hype. Please do not get caught up in the hype, because a year from now, you're still going to have opportunities. There will still be programs that do down payment assistance to cover your whole down payment. There's still programs that will help you with closing costs. There's still going to be loans like Faithful FHA. If you have a house that needs a little bit of repair, they're still going to have the 203K loan, which helps pay for rehab. There's going to be stuff available in a year, 1 year, 2 years. Please don't feel rushed, because if you rush it, it's just the same thing as the stock market. People rush in because they see people making money, and then you lose all your money. The stock market's still going to be there in 2 years. But if you educate yourself, you put yourself in the best position to succeed, your future self will thank you. I just don't want you to feel rushed, because there will always be something. And then the last thing, so Ace and I did a couple classes, one in June and one in May. It's called, if you go into the Well Squad video library, it's something Ace and Aaron or something like that talk about Section 8. Please go watch that video, because I give you a strategy. The only reason I'm not saying it now is because it's going to take longer than we have. But there's a strategy that you can use for multifamily homes where the income from it is guaranteed every month. And that's goes back in line with what we're talking about, putting yourself in the best position to succeed with. And that goes all the way to who you choose as tenants. So if you're really interested in doing one of these programs right now, do yourself a favor. In the class, it's only an hour. Go back and watch the class from June. And I want to say the first one is whatever the one in June is, just go back a week. There's 2 classes. So that gives you a really good strategy, and a strategy that everybody can use. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what you do. None of that matters. But yeah, that was it. I just didn't want anybody to feel rushed. Like, if they don't take advantage of this right now, they're never going to be able to again. There's always going to be something there for you.
Yep. And that's something that I always tell you guys in every class. If you feel never feel rushed for this real estate stuff, you guys. This is, like I said, this is not anything anything for play. It is serious stuff. Like I said, don't feel like you need to, you know, like Aaron said, just because these things are popular, everyone's talking about real estate. You know, you need to own real estate, or you know, you might see people on social media living these lavish lives because they have real estate. I promise you guys, there's more to that. Don't focus on what people are showing on social media, how they're living off of that stuff. You have to focus on you and yours. You have to always do what's going to be best for you and yours, right? And if you're not where you need to be right now to be able to close a real estate deal, that's perfectly okay. It took me 7 years. It took me 7 years of getting my money right. It took me 7 years to build my credit up. This was before real estate was even on my mind, right? I had a plan, and then real estate just so happened to come into that plan later down the road. But I had bigger things that I needed to get squared away back when I was younger. I made some stupid decisions, got myself in some crazy debt. So, you know, my credit score was shot, all these things. So I figured out what I needed to do to build my income up, right? My goal was to have 6 figures and to have a 700 better credit score, right? I didn't even know what that was going to do for me. I just knew, I always heard people talking about you got to have a good credit score to be able to access money from the banks or get loans, right? So I'm like, all right, I know I need to do that. And then I always heard people talk about you need capital, you need money to be able to make more money. So I'm like, okay, I need to stop spending money on dumb shit, stop clubbing so much and spending money on shoes, and actually put some money to the side. So that way, you know, I can have good credit and then I can have money to be able to work it. I didn't know what it was being worked for or what it was going towards, but it was in my plan. And in that plan, you know, a year went by and, you know, I was okay, I'm debt free, doing all these other things. And then it's like other things will start coming to you when you start focusing on you and your, I guess, your financial world, because your financial world and your financial self is kind of a little bit different than, you know, your life and things like that, right? So your financial is going to take care of everything. That's for your bills. If you want to have whatever is fun to you, whatever you like to do or spend your money on, you can't do those things if you don't have money, right? So anyways, along my 7 year plan, things kept changing along the way. I stayed on path, but I gained more knowledge along the way. And so it changed towards, okay, instead of doing this, now I need to look into real estate. And then that's how it kept going. So even if it takes you guys 7 years or 10 years, you got to get that ball rolling. You got to be realistic with yourself. And don't compare yourself to anyone else, right? It's your own race. It's at your own pace. But you can't get there if you never start. So let me see. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Yep. Okay. Good, good, good. All right, you guys. Let's see. Aaron's answering up some of those questions for you guys. I just posted Aaron's social media. Like I said, he's a Well Squad member. He's also on social media. His first one is his Instagram. The second one is his Twitter, whatever platform you guys are on. And then in the Well Squad, in the Discord, let me see. It's
It's earn sticks with a bunch of numbers. I don't know what it is. I'm the only earn sticks in there though.
right. So if you guys just type in earn sticks, you guys can hit him up in the Well Squad as well. And yeah, go back and check out those classes that we did, that he came on and gave us for the Section 8 information. Hit him up, reach out to him. He has a lot of great stuff, a lot of good stuff. So yeah, so do you guys have any other questions? Do you have any last add-ons that you want to add on, Aaron, to any of this?
No, I would not an add-on, just to repeat, please take your time. Don't feel rushed. Make sure you're really making the best decision that makes sense for you financially. So in 5 years, you are still happy about your purchase. I mean, there's people that purchased last year that are in terrible positions now and
Mm-hmm.
hate that they purchased last year because they purchased at the top of the market. And I just don't want that to be any of us. And like Ace mentioned, if you have, I mean, that's what the Wall Squad is here for. So if you guys have questions, if something you don't know, something you're not familiar with, you're sketchy about, whatever it is, throw it in the real estate channel and somebody will get to it. If I'm in there pretty much, well, every day. Ace is in there a bunch. There's a bunch of other real estate professionals that are in there too. So use the resources that you have. Absolutely.
Yep.
Thanks for having me on, Ace. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, man, and coming on and having this discussion with me and with the members. You guys, man, this is for me. I think these classes are the most important part of the Well Squad and being a part of the Well Squad. I really hope you guys attend these classes and the other classes that we have with a lot of the other providers. A lot of great information out there. You know, even myself, I attend a lot of classes and just to soak up the knowledge and get the information. If you think you know it all or think you're above getting more knowledge and information, I promise you guys, you're missing out on a lot. You're closing a lot of doors for yourself and probably for your families because we have a lot of classes that for if you have kids, if you have children and you're looking to invest for them, how to set up their investment, right? Once your kid has a social security number, you can already start investing for them. That's just one of the many things that we have. So a lot of great members, like Aaron was saying, network in the Wealth Squad. We have realtors, we have lenders, we have guys that are doing, you know, 7-figure real estate deals on a regular basis. You know, you might not know their name or know who they are because a lot of them just kind of want to stay behind the scenes. But I promise you guys, we have some members in there who are willing to give free help, who are doing some great things and looking to steer people on the right path. And
There's
we'll
some
just
heavy hitters in there, man.
yeah, there's a lot of heavy hitters in there, you guys. So take advantage of the Well Squad to the fullest. Network, reach out. I haven't heard of anybody trying to reach out to someone and them not getting a response back. That's just the kind of people that we have in the Well Squad, right? Everyone's kind of on the same mission. Like we're all on our own different journeys, but we're all kind of on the same mission, right? We want financial freedom, we want time freedom, we want location freedom. We just want to be healthier. You know, we just want to get better than what we were yesterday or last year. So that's kind of the mission and the goal of, you know, what Chris and Crystal put together with this. And, you know, shout out to Chris and Crystal for even making this possible for me to be on here, for me to be able to even connect with Aaron on here, you know, through this and bring him on and to get the information that he has and knows. And yeah, it's once again, I appreciate you, Aaron, for coming on.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime, man.
Yep. I appreciate all of you guys coming on and all the questions that you guys had. If you guys have any other questions that if they didn't get answered or skipped over or whatever, you guys feel free to reach out to me in the Well Squad. All of you guys that reached out to me after last class, I got everybody the information that I told you guys I would get you. So everyone that reached out to me, I got back to them. I got them all the information. And some of them, they were kind of mind blown by the video that I sent them, what I told you guys, the information I got. So that's all I got for you guys. It's Friday. Man, September is already almost, we're out of September pretty much. Next week is already October. After October, we got the holiday season and then 2023. I can't believe it. It's really unreal. But start setting stuff in motion today, you guys. I'm telling you, over my journey, that's been the biggest lesson that I've learned. Anytime I get new information or I'm curious about something new or learn about something new, put some kind of implementation in today. So whether it be you start watching a video today, whether it be you write out what you want to accomplish before the year is up, something, start reading a book on real estate or, you know what I mean? There's so many things that you can do to implement where you're trying to go besides having to spend money towards something. There's a lot of free resources, but you got to get that ball rolling or else you'll never get it going. And that's all I got for you guys for the night. Appreciate you, Aaron.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, you too. Appreciate all you guys. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll get with you guys soon.